Thank you for being here. I understand you have options, and I appreciate you more than you know. Now, this is for those who can and who want to do more. You have options in the description below. Pick the one that fits you best. May I just suggest the membership program? Why? Because it is the easiest, most affordable way to support the channel without thinking so hard. But understand that by you watching from start to finish, liking, subscribing, interacting with the video really helps my algorithm. So do not minimize the essence of your viewership. Thank you again. Part 1 of this saga, I was trying to demonstrate to you what I believe was Lori's mindset. Because with the mindset, you can have a very good idea of potential motive. We also talked about her interview with the detective the day of the alleged murder of her ex-husband. Now, I want to give you a context before we begin. The alleged murder was done by Lori's brother. It was performed in a confined space between Lori, her ex-husband, and her brother. Her daughter and her son was not in the vicinity. However, the daughter was privy to the start of the altercation. After the alleged murder, and this is important, they went on about their day. They went to have lunch at Burger King. The son went to school. It's as if nothing has happened. This interview right now is when the police gets on the case. Let's analyze this. Now, for those who are new here, understand that I am Alistair Hanzekio, and this is just my point of view. Let's get started. Okay. We've analyzed this first segment before, but just in case you haven't seen part 1, here's a quick recap. Notice when Lori walks into the interrogation room, how blasé she is, how comfortable she is, how, if it wasn't in the context of a precinct, you would think she's just talking to a friend or going to the mall or going to the store, to the point to even having a jolly sound.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. You know what? It was such a struggle because you in hospital, you go back to school, I try to talk to the teachers, but in high school, they don't care. They're like, you're not here, do the work, or don't. Like, they don't care.
Notice the level of comfort, as if complete detachment from the fact that not long before, someone that she loved at one point was dead.
Well, and I think with high school, it's like they're just pumping.
But when she was in elementary and junior high, all the teachers worked with her. They were nice about it. But by high school, there's so many kids that just don't care. And I was like, just take it. You're so smart. Let's just take it. See if you pass it. She passed it. Like,
and got a really good score.
Yeah, she passed it with like college ready in every category the first time.
Well, and now she can do what she wants. So.
Exactly.
The detective is going to jolt down a few pieces of information. Notice how Lori suddenly changes her facial expression from jolly to inquisitive. She is absolutely curious to know what is being written, and she is sizing up the detective in terms of trying to fish information, also known as, what do you know?
She's better off that way. Okay. I know Laura.
In addition, look at her body language. It is very closed and it's very poised. She is guarded. Even though outwardly she might portray this area of friendliness, inside she is guarded and getting herself ready to spin a story.
Where's your first name, right?
Yeah.
Lauri.
Lori.
Okay.
As soon as the interrogation starts, her body language shifts from back seat guarded to front seat guarded. What that means is that she's still in a position of reclusiveness, but she is engaged and she's actively listening.
And then what's your last name?
Vallow. Vallow.
And your date of birth? And your phone number? And you live at the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I know this sounds silly, but it's probably the easiest way to start is just to tell me what happened. And then, so you can start what makes the most sense to you, and we'll just work our way through, and I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions just to kind of clarify.
Sure.
So I know you talked to the initial patrol officer.
And he just got information. He didn't say anything.
So yeah, if you can just kind of tell me kind of what happened. It sounds like some of this may have started last night or something along those lines.
Right.
So start where you think it makes the most sense.
Okay.
The detective pretty much gave Lori an carte blanche explanation. In other words, tell me everything you know in the best way that makes sense to you. To someone that is telling the truth, it's an easy response. But to someone who is intent on lying, it is quite difficult to answer because you're not sure where to begin. And you're not sure if that beginning is going to tie all the other parts of your story. So that that giggle, and that laughter is just a expression of her thought process, thinking about how she's going to put this story together. What's going to be the beginning, what's going to be the middle, and how is that all going to make sense in the context of the story she's trying to sell the detective.
So,
I told you, it's a crazy question.
Well, so we moved into this house 3 weeks ago because he offered to get me a house here where all my family is.
Okay.
We were in Houston. And so he's like, we had decided to separate or whatever. So he's like, well, I'll pay for a house for you and for JJ and whatever, because he's all about JJ. He's never about Tylee, but he's all about JJ. Right?
The first thing she does is you're going to notice she's going to paint the picture of her ex-husband, Charles, the victim in question, being a horrible person, a potential abuser. She is starting this story not with what happened, but with here is the history which led to what happened, which is very different because a person that is truthful will tell you exactly and answer the question you ask. They will not preemptively start thinking what you could be leading to.
Because we adopted him together. He's his great nephew. We adopted him as a baby. And so we adopted him as a baby, and so we've been raising him together. And he travels all the time for business, so he's used to just going back and forth. So he's always gone like Monday through Friday. So he came when we first moved in and brought me stuff from Houston, like a U-Haul. And then he hasn't been back. But it's all these threats on my phone all the time, you know, like whatever, all these things. And then he told me...
What kind of threats?
Just... you'd have to read them to see, but he's always mad at me, right?
Okay.
And he doesn't want a divorce, but I don't like him and don't want to deal with him, so that's just how it is. Like, so we married for 14 years, we dealt with it for 14 years, of him being horrible to her. Like, he gets in huge fights with her, a lot of things. But anyway, so he said, I'm coming Wednesday night, all of a sudden. I want to see JJ. And I told him, I said, I will never keep JJ from you. You can come see him whenever you want to, come take him to school, whatever. Like, I'm not going to do that.
So when you initially moved, he had said he was going to buy you a house, so you moved here with your...
Yeah, he was going to rent us a house.
And so you moved...
All my family lives here. So we lived here for a long time.
Okay.
And then he moved us to Houston.
Okay.
And we were there with my son. He was out of school. He didn't have any of his, like, services, his DDD, his anything. He, like, ripped him out of school and said, we're moving.
Okay.
And I didn't go with him at first. And he took him.
So she just spent a good 3 to 5 minutes painting a backstory of a character of the victim before she actually starts talking about what the initial question was, which is what happened.
Long story. I'll keep it short. He hasn't been here in a couple weeks since we moved in.
Okay.
He came. He was very nasty when he was there, but he travels for business. So he went back to the Houston house, and he's like, I'm coming on Wednesday night, and I'm going to come pick up JJ and take him to school Thursday, pick him up Thursday, take him Friday, whatever. And I said, Casey wanted to come to the house, and I said, you can't come stay at this house because you can't get along with Tylee. She's a minor, and she has to live here.
Yeah.
So, because he gets in huge fights up there,
Okay.
and she hates him. And so I'm like, you can't stay at the house, so I will book you a hotel, because he stays in hotels all the time because he travels for business, and the business pays for it, right?
Uh-huh.
So I said, I will book you a hotel nearby.
What does he do?
He works with teachers in their retirement plans, but he goes to them at their school.
Oh,
He
okay.
mostly works in California.
Okay.
No matter where we live. And we
Okay.
lived in Hawaii. He'd work in California. He'd work in Texas. He has like books of business in different areas. And so he just goes wherever.
Okay.
It kind of just gives him freedom that he doesn't have to stay home every day and take care of special needs
Yeah.
children. It's like an excuse, right? So I've done that myself for the last 7 years anyway. And I was a single mom before I married him with my 2 kids.
Yeah.
And he had 2 kids. We got married, tried to make a family. You
Yeah.
know how it goes. Anyway. So he said he was coming last night. I said, well, you can't stay at this house because you can't get along with Tylee, and I'll get you a hotel and you can come play with JJ. But he goes to school all day.
Yeah.
I got him back into his school. His services, I met with the DDD yesterday, and they finally are getting his services back, but we're paying $125 a day to have him back at school because he's so out of his routine. He's been a nightmare on the floor, kicking stuff, hitting stuff, walls, like, he just ripped him out of his life.
Yeah.
So, anyway, just how he is, because he only thinks about himself, so. He says, come in to get JJ, and JJ's like, I don't want Dad, because he knows Dad took him away, so he was freaking out, right? So I didn't tell him he was even coming, like Dad's going to come take you to school or anything. So he didn't bother me last night, which I was surprised. I was expecting kind of an ambush for him to kind of like come over or be just mean and say, it's my house, I'm on the lease, I'm going to stay here, kind of thing. Because that's kind of his macho attitude. And
So right there, 2 things that's important to pay attention to. She is very casually talking about this. The crumb of truth here is that there is and there was a dispute in regards to access to the foyer. That's the crumb of truth. The lie is that she is the one who was preventing Charles to have easy access to the foyer. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, the second thing to pay attention to here is look at her eyes. Look at her eyes and her face as she is telling a story that her body perceives to be comfortable. Because it will shift. It will change.
so he came this morning, I was getting JJ ready.
So he got in last night, but he wasn't at the house last night.
Yeah, I didn't hear from him, except for he texted me and said, I'll be there at 7:30 to pick up JJ.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that was good, because I didn't hear from him. And then he came over in the morning and he's like,
Did you pay attention? Okay. She shifted her legs. That's a thought, that's a gear change up here. She shifted her leg. Her leg is not asleep. Her leg is not tired, my dears. It's a shift of her thought. Her openness with her arms has now become very much guarded, and they are not as animated. It's a self-soothing situation, but it's much more. She is now thinking. So she spent 8 minutes talking about painting a picture of Charles, of what he allegedly is. Because in her story spinning, she needs to create this picture of Charles, the aggressive man who doesn't care about his family. And now that aggressive man who doesn't care about his family is in my house. Now, she needs to be very careful with what she says. And she needs to think. Her brain processing power has increased. And she needs to not distract herself. Her body cannot be distracting to what she is trying to say. Another thing also that I'm going to point out in the editing, she looks at the camera. She looks at us. That is a sense of awareness, meaning that she understands that there are more than the detective paying attention. So she is putting on a full show, not just for the detective, but for the people who might see this after. Make no mistakes. Her brain is processing very, very fast. Now we go to this next segment. Let's analyze again her posture and keep paying attention to her eyes. Okay?
and he's like banging on the door. I'm like, oh great, here we go, you know. And I was just gonna be nice. I was just gonna be nice as possible. And I had JJ stuff all ready for school. And so.
Do you remember about what time he got there?
He said he'd be there 7:30, but it was more like 7:40ish
Okay.
or 7:35. I don't know.
Okay.
But I remember thinking, looking at the clock, and he wasn't there at 7:30, and he's usually Mr. On
Punctual.
time. Yes. So I was like, okay. And then JJ was like, oh, Dad. And then he was like, Mommy, and like ran to me and was like holding me. He's like, you're not taking me to school. And I was like, it's.
She keeps looking at the camera at us. She keeps looking at us. That's a sign she's talking to more than just a detective. But the moments of laughter, the moments of silence that she's inserting there is stalling tactics. They're stalling tactics to give her time to process. One of the outward expression of processing power is increased blinking. Now you have to look at it in a context setting, right? So, for example, I do it all the time when I notice it in my editing. For example, if you have a conversation with someone and you have to stop and think, right? So you might go, yes, yes. You tend to look away because it's socially acceptable, and it's socially unacceptable to do your processing power while staring at someone in the face. I'll point it out. Yes. Sure. Right? It's a little awkward. So to break that awkwardness, you fill in the blanks. But when you fill in the blanks, you have to formulate the answer in the background. And because as you're filling the blank, you're thinking, but because you're filling the blank and you're talking to someone, you can't be like, la la ba 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 tomorrow, right? So your brain is processing a lot of information and trying to portray the idea that you're actually in the conversation where you're not. And, you know, we're not good at doing multiple things at once. So a lot of the times you start blinking a lot, right? It gives the illusion of. I do it all the time. The difference here is that I'm not a criminal and I'm not being interrogated for the murder of someone, allegedly, right? I do it because I have to pick my words very carefully because what I say can offend someone, which can lead to a very bigger issue. So I have to pick my words extremely carefully, right? And I have to do it as naturally as possible. So yeah, my processing power is very high up here. The other thing also that you will notice is that when she raises her eyebrows, because I do it too, is to increase the oxygen level. It's not free. When your brain processes information that fast, it's expensive. It's metabolically expensive. And one of the ways to reduce the expense is to increase your oxygen level. How do you do that without hyperventilating to increase the oxygen flow? Just raise the eyebrows. The eyebrow raises, pull the nostrils up, and lets more air in. Try it. It works. It works. Okay? So all I'm seeing right here, and she's doing this when now she's entering the conversation and the description of the actual event. That right there is a sign of deception in my eyes, right? It's a sign of deception because why are you thinking so hard? Why do you just say what happened? I don't need the filler and giggles. This is not like, oh my God, I misplaced my book. No, someone is dead. What's the filler for? I don't care about your son having $125 a month. Who cares? That's irrelevant. How is this person dead in your living room? Explain. I pay $125 a month. So, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? Because she's enchanting. She's enchanting. She needs fillers. She needs fillers of the right word and the right context to create a story around what she initially started. And also point out, she's no longer as open. She's very like this. She's very closed off. Yeah. There's some stress going on there.
Okay, Daddy can just drive you to school. It's not a big deal. You know, just trying to make it whatever.
Calm.
Yeah, calm. And then he's just being real smirky and real like jerky, you know, to me. And I was like ignoring him, whatever. And so he was like,
And your brother lives there with you?
no,
Okay.
he had stayed with me last night because I was worried he was going to come over and
Okay.
cause trouble with me.
Okay.
And just wanted someone else there, like my brother there, because I trust my brother, and it's been a long story. Like, I had to go live at my brother's when he took JJ, and
Notice how the story spins away from the incident again. She's going in circles. Now we're going to go into the history of her brother. Lady Lori, nobody cares. What happened to this man? Why is he dead in your house? She loves her brother. My brother is amazing. No one is the better, right? Now look how open her arms become, because now she's talking about her brother.
He's just been difficult. So anyway, so I got JJ's stuff ready. And he was like, well, and he's like this about timing. He's like, I'm leaving in 20 minutes because it's like 15 minutes to the school, and like you can't get there early. They don't open the gates until 8:20 or something like that. And I said, well, why don't you just go now? I don't want him in the house. I'm like, why don't you just go now and take him to Burger King because that's what he likes for breakfast.
Do you see how much more open she becomes when she talks about everything else except the incident? She's going around in circles. She's going around in circles. And she cannot let go of that narrative that she's trying to pin on this. As in, like, he is a bad person. Look how annoying it is. Look how annoying he is. Look how dominant and demeanoring Charles is or was. Right? And every time she goes back to that same narrative, she gets more comfortable, more animated. And when it gets back to the actual event, it's like, silence. And she can never really proceed forward. To me, that tells me she hasn't really quite found the words necessary to start the actual narrative of what happened. She has yet to start.
Just go now and take him to Burger King because that's what he likes for breakfast. And he's very particular about food. Like, he wanted chicken fries for breakfast and this Sprite. Like, and I just get what he wants, because if you don't get what he wants, then it's like on the floor screaming, dragging him into school. Like, and he's big and he's heavy, and it's hard for me to handle. But anyway.
All right. That Burger King little spin-off here, she is explaining to the detective, pseudologically, why she decided, after there was a dead body in her house, why they went to Burger King. She's explaining it's a very needy kid, very big, very burly, and if you don't give him what he wants, then there's problems. She's giving an alibi, an explanation as to, lady, someone is dead in your living room. What's the first thing you do? You go to Burger King? Where do you go? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I go to Burger King. All right, fine.
So I said, just go. And so he said, okay. So I gave him a backpack. He got in the car. This is his MO, right? He always leaves something in the house and comes back. He never leaves the first time. I always expect my husband to come back into the house, right? So I guess he had left his phone on the counter.
So he initially left with the backpack and with JJ?
And so he put them in the car,
in
the driveway, and then he came back in, right? So I kissed JJ goodbye. He came back in, and his phone was on the counter, and I had his phone. And he was like, giving me my phone, and I was like, why don't you show me your text that you've been texting, blah, 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 you know, whatever. Because he's like acting really weird, like he's plotting something against me. Like, I'm like, why are you even here? Like, what did you come here for, you know? He's been talking to my other brother, and my brother came into town at the same time last night. And I haven't talked to my brother in a while, my other brother, and I was like, and so he was texting him on the phone when he first got to my house, and I'm like, why are you texting Adam? Like, do you even talk to him? Like, my other brother. And, you know, he's been telling me all these texts, like, you're going down, blah, 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 blah. He's blaming me for our marriage breaking up, and my niece getting divorced, and my friend getting divorced. He said, I'm a destroyer of families, because I want everybody to get divorced. I'm like, what would my motivation be for people getting divorced? So I could babysit the kids more? Like, why would I have any control over what people do?
Yeah.
So, it's just...
She has yet to get to the point. It's now 12 minutes in. And every time she gets close to it, she diverts the situation to reiterate and remind how much of a terrible, allegedly her ex-husband was. In other words, she's creating the narrative that his death was justified because he was the aggressor. And she has yet to really go to a fully comfortable position. She's still very hunched. She's still clustering together, and she is blinking like crazy. So now the detective redirects the conversation to what happened. And so her body language recoils again. She is shaking her leg because now she has to enter the scenario. Remind you, this is very fresh in her mind. She knows exactly what happened. It's very vivid. This happened hours ago. And she cannot stop looking at the camera behind the detective. She's very well aware that there's more than one audience. And so she is trying to convey and portray this persona of. She looks down, she looks away, she's blinking and creased. She's not able to really make that step because she is not sure if she has convinced everybody enough that she is the victim. She's not sure.
It's just very odd, but anyway, he goes nuts. He's gone nuts on us a lot of times. Tylee and I have had to leave with JJ over the years probably 5 times and just stay in a hotel for 2 days because he goes nuts. Like, you don't know what's going to set him off, like, whatever. And she's mad at me for always, like, going back. But we had JJ and he's special needs and it's really hard. Like, it's even hard to take care of it by yourself.
So when you say he goes nuts, that can mean a lot of different things.
Right.
So goes nuts like yelling and screaming.
Yeah,
goes
yelling
nuts
and screaming,
like breaking
like,
things.
yes.
Goes nuts like physical violence.
He's never really, besides like grabbing us and pushing us, but not like punching us or something. But with Tylee, he has gotten physical before. And with my grown son.
Like physical how?
Like got into a physical fist fight with my son when he was 16.
Okay.
And he came after Tylee 2 times in Hawaii.
Okay.
And like went like he was going to hit her, but then I got in between them. Right.
How old was she when that happened?
Probably 13 and 14.
Okay. So this morning he comes back in and...
He comes back in, I wouldn't give him his phone. He was screaming at me to give him his phone. He was very worried about whatever was on his text that he did not want me to see. And so I was just holding it there and he was screaming at me. And I was kind of walking around the house with it so he couldn't get it. He's like reaching for it and stuff like that. And so Tylee came out of her room upset and she had a bat and she told him to leave her mother alone, like, right? So she was really whatever. And he's screaming at her, "Don't you hit me with that bat," and blah, 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 blah. And then my brother heard all the commotion because he was in there in bed. And so he came out into the main room and I guess whatever.
What's your brother's name?
Alex.
Alex, okay.
And then he just started, he was screaming and he was super upset and whatever, and he's yelling at Tylee, "Don't you hit me with that bat," and blah, blah, blah. And so Tylee, I guess, I don't know if she swung at him or what, but he like grabbed the bat from Tylee and then went to like hit Tylee with the bat. It was, and I was right there, they were right there, and my brother grabbed him from behind, like just to stop him from hitting Tylee.
You go like this, like he grabbed him like...
Yeah, from behind, like just kind of to pull him back. And then they got into the thing and he's hitting him with the bat and they're on the ground, like grappling around or whatever. And then, it was all quickly.
And he hit your brother with the bat while they were grappling and stuff?
Yeah, yes, he was hitting him with the bat, like swinging the bat, back and forth, and they were kind of like on the ground, and I was like freaking out trying to go around, knowing JJ was in the car, right? And so then he got up and he had the bat like this towards me, and I was going around the other side to try to just get out of his range where he couldn't hit me. And then I had told Tylee, because she was on the ground, because after he took the bat from her, she fell back. And so I told her, I was like, "Go get in the car with JJ. Like, I don't want JJ coming in to the house." And I wanted her out of the way. I wanted the kids out of the way of whatever this fight was going to be. And then...
Do you remember what your husband or your brother were saying or yelling during all of this? If they were at all?
Just kind of, get off me, ow, or whatever. They were like, don't talk to my niece about whatever. Like, it was, I don't remember specifics, but they were kind of both, they were kind of in the heat of it. I don't think there was many words that I remember.
So Tylee goes outside.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, she spoke for, it took her about 15 minutes to actually get to the actual event of what happened. You know, I've talked to you before that there is a method that every narcissist go through with anything they do. A narcissist will never directly ask you what they want. It's not in their DNA. They're not that confident. They're not that confident. They have the lowest self-esteem you can imagine. It's a self-esteem disorder. So what they need to do is to gather up or muster the confidence to ask you that question. They cannot handle a negative. They cannot handle a no. So the first thing they do is they will gather as much sympathy as possible. That's the step one. There's no other steps. A narcissist that comes to you with like, can I borrow your car? No. Then there's something else. A true narcissist, they don't start like that. They start with buttering you up with sympathy. Oh my God, my husband, he never likes, he never liked JJ. He was, he said he'd buy me everything, but, I had to move for him and it's all about him. He travels all the time. And, he always hurts Tylee and, he's so mean to her. He hates her. And I'm sitting here like a single mom, trying to help and raise the kids. And I'm the one doing everything and I have to pick up everything there. You know what I mean? And then he's like, oh, I'm going to come into the house, but I don't want him to come to the house. And they're like, okay, fine. And then he comes to the hotel and I'm like, no, I'll put you in the hotel. Please go away. Woman, have several seats. Have several seats. Stupid. And let me explain something else to you. Okay? Because as she's talking like that, look at this posture. It's gathering sympathy. She was not ready to get into the story. If you leave it to them, they'll spend a whole day gathering sympathy before they ask you, can I please borrow your car? Right? She was not ready for this. And even as she was describing the incident, she made it very jolly, very like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. She's laughing and cackling and laughter. She's very nonchalant about it. She was not ready to step into the story yet. She was not emotionally prepared to tell the story. This confession, I put in quote, was triggered by the detective being like, I don't care about your $125 a month. I don't care about your school situation. I have lunch to go to. Honey, I got kids too. Hurry up. What the F happened? Right? And she was forced into getting to the story. Another thing the detective does, which I really didn't appreciate, let me give you another PSA. If you're trying to discover the truth from someone, stop volunteering potentials. Did you break the vase because you were tired? No. Did you jump off the rope because you slipped? No. Ask the question mark, and wait. Wait! Yeah. When you lead into questions, don't give potential solutions because a liar will always latch onto that because they are going to use that trigger to think that that's what you're thinking. So therefore, yeah, if she thinks that I'm tired, yes, I'm tired. Come on, detective. Come on. No, that was not skillful. That was not skillful at all. When you ask a question, you let them answer. And then you just lead. You lead and let them wrap themselves. You lead, right? You don't convey potentials because then you completely ruin everything. Let's continue this mess. So now she's talking about the story. Finally,
She was outside,
And then what happened?
then they got up from that, and my brother had like stepped back, I guess, and then Charles was coming with me at the back, yelling at me to give him his phone still, because I had it in my hand. It was all really quickly, and then when I went around kind of in the circle, then my brother was there.
When you said when you were going around and he was coming at you with the bat, how was he holding the bat?
Just like that, like.
Do you know what that pause was?
In the circle, then my brother was there.
When you said
The pause is that as she's recounting the situation in her head, something there was amiss. And she was trying to see how to reposition her words. And then the detective, again, throws a bone. Stop throwing bones. If you're interrogating someone, let them answer. She's a babble mouth. She will tell you she's a babble mouth. But the other thing here that's very significant is that she initiated this confrontation. She had his phone. That's not your phone. Give him his phone. That's my property. Don't touch my property. Give it to me. Now, in a normal scenario between human beings, yeah, I'll chase you around and try to get my phone. But, I'm skittish. I try one time. Then I sit still. I'd be like, give me my phone. I tried 2 times. The 3rd time, honey, silly. That's a silly thing. That's what kids do. That's what kids do. That's childish. That's childish. That's not yours. Especially when you're not on good terms. That's not yours. So she's the catalyst of Charles being irritated.
Backwards. Almost in one arm.
like he was swinging it backwards? He would have done
Like he would have swung it backwards at me, not frontwards.
Okay, yeah.
He was a professional baseball player.
Okay.
So it wasn't a good idea for Tylee to get out of that.
Probably not the.
I mean, he played semi-pro
Yeah.
when he was young. But
There's something very disturbing about this cackling and this laughter. But you know what she does? She pinches herself. She pinches herself. Every time there's a filler, she has a good time. When we come back to reality, she contracts because she knows the truth. And that pinch and those contractions is like, don't let them see the truth.
yeah, and then I was kind of turned around, and we were all right there in that room except for the kids had been outside by that time, and I heard the gunshot. And
So you heard the shot? Did you actually see the shot, or did you just hear it?
I had gone around to the kitchen to get away from him, and so back around. So I don't know if you went in the house.
I didn't, so I'm like a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, so I didn't see the shot. I heard it, and then I came back around and I saw that he was on the ground.
Okay.
And
Again, simple question, extremely complicated answer. It's a yes and no question. Did you see the shot? Well, I went around the corner, so no. Process that for a second. Did you see the shot? Yes. No. Would you remember if you saw a gun shot? We're not asking where the bullet hit here. We're not asking for specific. Did you see? Bow! Did you see it? Well, I went around the corner, and so, no. That speaks to the information enters her brain, gets processed based on what she said, and then gets regurgitated, filtered based on what she said. This is not a genuine answer. She may have told the truth, but it was a processed truth. That would be a red flag. If I was a detective, I'd be like, this is a yes or no answer. Again, I'm going to point it out to you. Are you employed? Red flag. How old are you? Red flag. What's your name? Red flag. There's certain questions, there's no needed. Okay? There's certain situations where it's like, what? There's no thought process needed. Did you wake up this morning? Yeah, I'm here. Okay? Now, if it sounds absurd, you might be like, blink, 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 blink. What the hell's going on? But think about the context. This is not absurd. Did you see the shot? Yes or no? Your husband's dead. Did you see the shot? No, I did not see the shot. No. Yes. Right? But not, well, ha. No.
I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And so I was just freaking out, and it just went into mom mode. I'm like, I've got to go to get JJ to school. I've got to get to the kids. I just felt like I got to get to the kids. Mm-hmm. And so I just went outside and to see if they were in there okay. I didn't want them coming back in the house when all that was going on. And got JJ in the car, and he was trying to come in. Mm-hmm. And Tylee was like looking at me with like the crazy eyes, like what just happened. And I told her to get in the car and we're going to take JJ to school. Mm-hmm. And I just left.
When you came back in and you saw him on the ground, where was your brother? Did you see him where he was at?
Yeah, he was right in front of him.
Okay.
Like, it all happened very quickly. That
right.
I feel like I was there because I was right there, and like a second later. Like, okay. I just went around the kitchen to get away from him.
Did your brother say anything to you at all? Do you remember?
No, we were both just in shock.
Okay.
Like, it was just I didn't say anything. I went out with the kids just to check on them first, and I was going to come back in maybe, but I didn't. I was like, I just have to get him to school and call the police and come back, whatever.
Did anybody say did you or your brother say anything at some point about calling the police or calling 911? Do you remember?
Yeah, he called me.
Okay.
And he said, are you taking JJ to school? Uh-huh. And I said, yeah, we need to call the police. And he said, okay. Okay.
So he called you when you didn't come back inside, basically?
Right. Okay. Because I was like in the car for a minute, and then I was like, what do I do? Mm-hmm. And I didn't want JJ to go inside, and I didn't know what to do. And Tylee was freaking out. I was trying to get them away from the scene.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
That is not understandable. That is not understandable. They went with the day as scheduled. You mean to tell me Tylee didn't ask any questions? It doesn't make sense. And let me tell you something, guys. If something does not make sense, usually it doesn't. Lady Luck is lazy. Lady Luck doesn't give a damn. If something doesn't make sense 99% of the time, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And look at that body language. She is telling you with her expression, I'm so sad. Notice that she hasn't evoked a feeling of sadness at all. It's all being conveyed very shortly with her body language. Very shortly at that. Meaning she doesn't give a damn. She's not sad at all. She's just doing it to fool you, me, and the redhead detective. She just did that to fool all of us. But these scenes of the event doesn't make sense.
So my second very ridiculous question is Is there anything else that I didn't ask about or anything that we didn't cover that you think is important? I always ask that just because I wasn't there, and so we're going through something that happened a super small amount of time.
Yes.
Oh, she's done being sad now.
So, yeah, go for it.
When the detective said that question, what is solidified in my mind is that she had no clue what she was looking for. The detective had no clue what she was looking for. The detective asked only the first main question, what happened? In your own words. Fine. What happened? And that was it. There was no other potential motives. There was nothing else. There was no other questioning. It means that they walked into that room believing every single word that they said, which is, I'm a battered woman. He hurt me. Help me. They didn't think twice into thinking. Now, I can tell you this from experience. If you call the cops and they show up and they give you a special number, you're on the record, my dears. You're on the record. That means someone can go somewhere and pull up your name. You might not be like, clink, clink record, but someone, if they look hard enough, can say, Alistair has called 911 on this date. For that reason. Right? It doesn't have to be a full police report. As soon as they give you that card with that number, at least that's why it is here in Jersey, that card with that number, all I need is a number, and then they'll be like, well, this officer went over there and spoke to you about this. Right? Charles has called 911 many times. This is not the first time Charles has called 911. And 5 months prior, she has threatened him, according to what we saw, of murdering him. And now he's murdered? Honey, detective, who are you? What kind of due diligence do you do? So this detective only asks, so what happened? In your own words. Nothing. The only leading questions is what? So where is the kitchen? So where was that? So what happened? So, so wait a minute. So we had the bat. The only other question that was of relevance here is, did he have a gun when he walked in? That's it. And she didn't even harp on that long. She didn't harp on that long. No, she didn't harp on that long. I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you what. Sorry, not why. So, Lori, you have called your husband before and you've said, according to him, that you would murder him. What is that about? I mean, I know you talk about like how like your husband is so mad at you, all that stuff, and he's so aggressive and stuff. But like, what is this religious dispute you guys are having and you've had? He called multiple times. He can't get in touch with the kids. Why can you not get in touch with the kids? Oh, I see. Okay. So why do you take his phone? Why didn't you give his phone back when he asked for it? So funny. It's so funny, Lori. All that is funny. And then the detective has the audacity to ask the one question that anybody with a brain in the field of interrogation, you never ask. Is there anything you want to say that I've missed? No. What do you think they're going to tell you? If the person is guilty, they're going to tell you whatever they want to hear. If the person is innocent, it's probably going to be, no, I told you everything that I know. It's a useless, pointless question, to be really quite honest. It's just a question to fill in the blanks. Like, okay, well, I don't know what else to write. Right? Because she came in there with a done deal. No, detective. You have a person that comes in here. Everybody in detective mind, everyone is guilty until proven innocent. That's in the detective mind. Because I don't know what your story is. I don't know what you're about to tell me. So I'm going to research you, research the history, research the victim. I'm going to do some research and understand a little bit how far back things are. Okay. And then paint a grosso modo story before things start. And then from there, I can have a little initiative and then let you talk. I'm not going to feed you answers. So Lori won. And look how she won. She's like, yes, I got so much to tell you. Let's have a kiki, okay? Let me get myself comfortable. This is where the narcissist completely wins and obliterates her targets.
Yeah, go for it.
She gets comfortable. It's a sigh of relief. She's happy. She sold the story and you're stupid enough to buy it.
Just thinking. Just that.
Stupid. Stupid detective. Stoop. What do you think you're going to get, detective? What did you think you're going to get, detective? Stupid question. It's a stupid... I can't even breathe how stupid... It makes me so angry. Because that's incompetence at a level that is unacceptable for the job that she has. This is my opinion. There's certain jobs that don't have a margin of error for certain professions. This is absolutely annoying. Because imagine if that was you. If you were the victim that's dead. This is the person who's going to try to give justice to you? Really? Please, give my money back.
He was just so angry, like super scary.
Of course, it plays into her narrative. Of course, he's abusive. Of course. I took his phone. It was so scary. Oh my God, of course. Did you expect a different answer?
You know how you take your phone away from like a 16-year-old and they freak out? Like their world disintegrates. Like I've taken my phone away from a 16-year-old boy before and he's like wanted to kill himself because like they kidnapped him. That's how it was. It was like is something on his phone that he does not want me to see that he was like freaking out. Like to the point where I thought he would hit me in the back of the head to get the phone.
Okay.
Again, it's not for you to listen. Don't take people's phone, even if it's your spouse's. And if you do take the phone, if they want it back, give it to them. Give it to them because it's a very personal situation. It's like someone takes your underwear, or your bank account, or your credit card. It's very personal. Your phone is very private. And just because you're married doesn't mean you have no more access to privacy. No. And the fact that she compares his outburst to a 16-year-old kid means she does not even understand the gravity of her actions or the childhoodness of her action of taking the phone away from her husband. That's very childish, Lori. I just want you to know that. Grown-ups don't do that. Grown-ups don't do that. So here, detective, this is what you ask. Anything else you want to add? Yeah, she's going to play into the narrative that he was an irrational, abusive brute. I knew I am the best. They bought it. They bought my story. Woohoo! Okay. Look at this. As the detective is walking out, she takes one glance at us. And right after the detective leaves, she grabs the tissue. As she wipes the fake tears, she still glances back at us. She does it multiple times, darling. And then she wants to convince us that she's crying and she's controlling all inside, and it's Her range of emotions, of Lori's emotion, is as such. She believed that she got this under her foot. So she walked in them with the confidence and jolliness of a true narcissist. In the same breath, as she walked in, she is the one establishing the rapport, not the detective. She is commanding the room, not the precinct. She is coming in here and she is spinning a story the moment they see her. Oh, wow, nice year. Oh, yes, school is great. Oh, my God, you have no idea how difficult school was. Yeah, and the kids, you have no idea. Yeah, I love your hair. Absolutely. Yeah. Very friendly, very chatty, very social, very extroverty. She already started commanding the narrative by making the detective comfortable. And this is where the detective failed. She allowed the victim or the potential murderer to take over the scene. The detective is supposed to set the rapport. The detective is supposed to lead with the rapport. But no, the detective got enchanted by her jolly personality and completely bought and fell into her charm. She's a nice lady. She's a nice lady with the blonde hair and the yoga pants, and the flip-flops and so jolly. Yeah, she's kind of nice. Yeah, she's so jolly and stuff. And oh my God, her kids is special ed and they just went through a terrible thing. Yeah, she bought into that. She bought into that narrative. Unprofessional. Because that's not what you're there for. You're not interviewing to be their friend. You're interviewing to see if this was foul play or if this was really a victim situation. Because victims of domestic violence, it's MFing real. And it's no effing laughing mattering joke. Okay? So seeing her coming in here, laughing and making out a big scene and going in and out of establishing the rapport and kicking and having a good old laugh, it's very infuriating. And the detective not taking reign of that narrative is even more infuriating. But enough about her. So then what Laurie did is that she understood very well that she's in front of a simpleton. This is going to be very easy. So all she got to do is laugh a little bit, wiggle a little bit, and the detective asked her after 15 minutes, what the hell happened? She spent the whole time painting Charles as the villain, where we know how frustrated Charles was. Frustrated to the point where he was like, you know what? Okay, to hell with you, Laurie, because you're the grown-up, but I want to be part of my kid's life. Of course Charles is frustrated. Excuse me? There's frustration if you're a single person, and there's frustration if you have kids involved. The frustration is on a different level. It's my kids. There's a lot more to lose. So yeah, of course he's frustrated. And he's not interested in entertaining you, Laurie. He's not interested in playing to your idea that you are the goddess, the all-powerful. Everybody must do as you say. You see, Laurie is used to having people do as she says. She's used to it. People show up every Sunday to tell her she's a goddess, that she's deity, she's God sent. She's used to that. And she cannot and could not handle Charles being like, no, I'm not interested. That's why she picked up the phone, Charles' phone. She wanted to know, who is it? What is it that is interfering with my enchantment on you, Charles? What was the reason of her harping on the phone of Charles? She said it. Maybe he's talking to my other brother who may not like me. Maybe. Who are you talking to? She was interested to know who is influencing Charles where I have difficulty enchanting him. But in the interrogation, she flipped the script. She's not the aggressor at all. Charles is the aggressor. And she reverted to that story so many times. Even midpoint, so many times. And even though her outward body language didn't see or show any signs of a truth, someone who's scared, frightened, traumatized, She spent a lot of time laughing about it, making fun about it, giggling about it. And she also was very self-conscious of the cameras. Who is looking at me? How many times? Very self-conscious about it. If Charles was such the aggressor, he's dead. You're in the police station. Your salvation is there. You're not worrying about what other people think. You worry about your kids. You worry about the future of your kids. You worry about their mental health. There's a sense, you worry about the stuff that really matters. She was provided, she was given the option of victim help. She was like, I'm not interested. She was like, I don't know. I've been through a lot already. I'm good. I just want to go home. I'm tired. Really? Really? All these small nuances speaks volume because everything she said is just filler. She filled in the gaps with stuff that's completely irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. And that whole story that she cut up about the interaction of that night doesn't make absolute no sense. Charles come in. Come on, JJ, let's go to the car. Oops, I forgot my phone. Let me go back in. But before she even said I forgot my phone, remember she said he always forgets something. I think he forgot his phone. I don't remember. Yeah. Please, obviously you remember because you took the phone, Lori. Small little nuanced lies. And then when he comes on, give him my phone. You don't want to give him his phone. That's his property. He needs his phone. And his press. You have to go somewhere. Give him his phone. Chase you around for the phone. Fine. Let's just say I did. Why is your brother getting involved? It's my phone. I'm not going to beat you to get the phone. And even if I did, you're the victim. What are you doing taking his phone? If you're so afraid of him, what are you doing grabbing his phone? Hi, detective. That's a question you should have asked. Victim, your aggressor is walking away. What are you doing grabbing his phone and not giving it to him? What are you doing antagonizing him? Fine. Scuffle happened. The teenager wakes up. What is that noise? She grabs the bat for security. She's like, what is going on? Because she's really concerned about this. And then the father is like, oh, no, honey, you're not going to hit me with a bat. As I would say the same thing. If Olympia show up with a bat, I'm like, what are you doing with that? Papa, I'm going to beat you with a bat. I'm like, the hell you would. I wish you would. Come here, I'm going to smack you in the face. You gotta be mind. My kid grabs a bat and wants to hit me with it. No, I'm not having a tea with that. No. Everything that Charles has done seems very reasonable to me. Give me the bat. No, don't touch my daughter. It's my kid too. And she has a bat. No, give me the bat. Yeah. Lori escalated the situation. And the brother had a gun. And he took action. Either way, the body language we just saw is not the body language of a victim. Which brings me to the point of the title of this story. She is, in my opinion, 100% narcissist. But she is also a psychopath. Because throughout this whole situation, there was no remorse at all for the loss of a life. And there was no remorse at all for the potential trauma on her children. It was all about her. And she made a real effort to conceal that story. But she was able to do it with clarity and without skipping a beat. Yeah. Psycho. A psycho. Psychopath. Psycho. All psychopaths are narcissists. It's all about themselves. The difference here is that psychopaths are born. I don't think she's a sociopath. Maybe she's a sociopath. Who knows? All I know is that she is a narcissist and a psychopath. Let's just call it like that. Bring the allege. Allege is right here. Get out of here with your shoe sticks. It's my point of view anyway. So I said that in the video. Get out of here with your shoe sticks. My situation here is that this saga is absolutely atrocious. So now that we understood her mindset, which is that of a monster, and now that we confirmed that not only is she a monster, but she is a psychopathic monster. The third point now, right, is we're going to look at her phone calls. She is arrested. She is charged. What is she saying? What is being said? What are the details of this trial? Okay, we're going to move forward now to currency. Another point that's important is that the next day she called life insurance policy. And by the way, as a side note, when her children were murdered by her, allegedly, she still kept collecting Social Security money. This is not the behavior of someone who's like, oh my God, my kids. This is the behavior of someone who's done it very deliberately. That's it. Let's go to my let's talk. Hey, look, very, very side note. If you're enjoying this so far and you're not subscribed yet, see that? Subscribe. If you like it, like. If you haven't done so, do all this. Thank you. So, my let's talk. So I have put together a very, very thorough operating flow for this new series that I'm going to debut this month. Look at me working. And it's going to be all about narcissism. And it's going to start with how the hell can you tell? How can you tell? I have a knack for that. And I realize I've always had a knack for that, even before I met you. Matter of fact, it was one of the insider jokes between my family, my siblings and I, like the silver lining from dealing with that. It was an insider joke that, at the very least, we know that we'll never meet someone like him again. Because we've met people who are narcissists like him. They just never get this far. They never get far enough. So we get ghosted 99% of the time. And that's okay. And I always call them out, by the way. I call them out. You should see me. When I'm in front of someone who's potentially a narcissist, you should see me. Because I'm not really that nice. Matter of fact, I'm very shady. You know I'm polite. And when I say I'm not that nice, I'm polite. You know, like I'm not like really not nice. I'm politely shady. Right? So I'm not cursing you. I am not no. I'm just not pleasant, but you would not know that I'm not pleasant because you'd be like, what's going on? I get very shady. Anyway, that's what I mean when I'm not nice. So what was I saying? Right. And the first video of the series is going to be how to notify. How can you tell? There are some very telltale signs. And from my experience, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not anything, I'm not licensed anything. But one thing in life, listen, is one thing to be a book knowledge, and it's another thing to have actual knowledge. That's in everything in life, in business, in relationships. The actual knowledge you have can be just as good, if not better, than the books. Yeah, I've even go as far as saying surgery. Now, that's a little different because nobody's going to let you try surgery on them without the qualifications. But I'm just saying, you know, the more practice you have, the better it is, of course. And so in my experience, I'm going to share with you some of the key points. And I think this will be a very good, interesting series. I'm going to debut it this month. Check it out, of course, 100%. And who knows? Maybe you might be like, oh my God, my friend's a narcissist. Yeah. And I'm sorry to tell you that the best solution if you're dealing with one is to ghost them. because the second best solution is to confront them. Now, they might ghost you or they might hurt you. But if nothing happens, then you might have a very rare narcissist in hand. A self-aware narcissist is a narcissist who knows he's a narcissist and who does the actual work of trying to contain his situations. But it's not going to last long because it will be as good for as long as that particular person is not stressed. The higher the stress, the hell with all those things. I'm telling you. Like my therapist says, narcissist is a waste of time. She says that. She's like, if someone's a diagnosed narcissist, you're wasting your time. If you have therapists who have narcissist people, it's just for the money. It's a waste of time because they think they know more than you. They will never do the homework you give them. And if they do the homework you give them, it's always going to be but. It's always an excuse and explanation. It's a waste of time. She's like, in her career, people that have a narcissist is either court-ordered or because they need the money. That's it. No, waste of time. But she said it's not even that fun. Yeah, who wants to sit there and someone tell you about yourself? Nobody likes that, you know? Anyway, how was your weekend? Are you liking the content update that I'm giving? I hope you are. It's because I have more time. Work has slowed down a little bit. Can you believe it? Finally. I've been waiting since freaking January. It's May. And the allergies have been good. Oh my God, I've been managing that very well. I have no idea what's going on. The planet is out of whack. Normally, April, May, I'm dead. But no, I mean, I still suffered, but I suffered to survive. Usually I suffer to die. Allegedly. Do you know what I mean? So, surprise. I have some trees who didn't make it. I'm like, what's going on? You're fully grown. I don't understand why you're dead. I don't want to cry. My trees are my babies. They will make me cry. And then, so yeah. What was the question? Yeah, how was the weekend? The live was such a good time, wasn't it? I had such a good time with you on the live. Listen, I know not everybody can make it, but I have a good time. Oh yeah, the content update. All right. So yeah, you like that? I have some more time. Yeah. So I'm using this opportunity to have more time to create content like that's nobody's business. Okay. I have been recording, just in case I get an uptick of stuff. And I have vacation time coming up. I think I told you I have to go see the surrogate this year. I have 1,000 birthdays to attend. I have Olympia's birthday to plan. I have bling. I'm thinking. What? Oh wait, let's see. That's it, right? That's it. I think travel and all that stuff stops in... No, I gotta go Seattle. Family vacation. Us three. Seattle. In July. So everything stops after July in terms of my crazy scheduleness. So record, go on vacation, go away. And that's that. And by the way, just as a disclaimer, when I go on vacation, I disconnect. When I'm on vacation, it's literally me, the pillow, well, pre-babies, me and the pillow and the spouse. That's it. The whole world could crumble. I'm like, I will come back and deal with the ruins and the consequences. Yeah, make no mistake. I mean, no apology. I'm French. Please, French people in the vacation, you know how we are. Don't play with my vacations. No, vacations is like literally, don't touch me. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me. I'm busy. Doing? I'm dancing. I told you, right, that there's the 80s music. Boom, big jam. Everybody get down. Come on, let's sweat. Baby. I've been dancing a lot. Yeah. But that phase is going to die down. Eventually, I'll get sick of it and I'll fixate on something else. So right now, the fixation is just dancing. But I like to dance anyway. And I like to dance anyway. I'm not ashamed of dancing. I dance in public. I dance in the bus. I dance in front of clients. Yeah, I wiggle. I have no shame in that. When I'm tired, I don't do it. But, no, I'm not afraid. Another thing also, people, I think people, when you're younger, you believe that. But people get so embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed about anything. 99% of the time, people are not paying attention. 90% of the time, nobody really cares that much because people are so busy with their own lives. They're not paying attention to you wiggling your butt over there. So wiggle. I tell you guys all the time, right? Life is too hard not to have a good time. What? You're going to make fun of me because I'm having a good time? What's wrong with you, Debbie Downer? No. And trust me, most of the time, people don't care that much. Yeah. Come on, let's go dance a little bit. No, but I'm like, people, no, don't worry. Nobody's watching. Trust me, nobody cares that much. Nobody's watching. Let's go wiggle. Let's wiggle a little bit. When we go to parties and stuff, I never understood why people don't dance. Go and dance. You're at a party. You're supposed to dance. I'm scared. No, come on. Let's go dance. So most of the time, by myself, me and my spouse, we're just there dancing. If I go by myself, I'm dancing. If I go in a work event, I'm dancing. If there's a dance floor, yeah, I'll go there and I wiggle a little bit. Nobody cares. People are too busy on their phone. They're too busy pretending to be what they're not, that they're not paying attention to you or the single person who've done that. They're really not. And if they do, they'll forget it by tomorrow and nobody will remember. So So at the end of the day, you still had your good time to wiggle and nobody really cared enough to talk about it. Yeah, don't stifle your fun. Have fun. Have all the fun you have. You only get one body, one life. What are you doing wasting it on somebody else's standard? No, have fun. Have fun. What? We work hard every day dealing with people. Have fun. Have fun. Go out there and live. Because one day you'll be dead. I can say that, right, YouTube? I mean, it's true. I'm not lying. One day we're all gonna lay down and fall asleep forever, right? So, you want to enjoy this life. Enjoy the trees. Go outside. Touch the flowers. Look at the sun. Go barefoot. Go tanning on the grass. Yeah. I miss those days. This was fun days. I'll always wear sunscreen. I always wore sunscreen, even though I'm black. I always did. And even when I was younger. And that was one of the things. Like, what are you doing? After work. Oh, man, I miss those days. I'm too busy now, but I still have my fun. And they're like, what are you doing? Nothing. What time you get out of work? 5? Oh, okay, well, I'm done now. So you know what? I'll be at Central Park. I'll be tanning. I'll meet you there. All right. Come to Central Park. And then we had the big music, because we were inconsiderate 20-year-olds. Blast the music up, tanning. We were too broke to have food, so we were starving. Starving, tanning, and then going home to our separate ways. But you have fun. Always every day try to have a laugh. I know it's hard, and sometimes life can get difficult, but squeeze in a good laughter every day, Okay, stop wiggling. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. You know what Olympia loves when I do that? So, I'll tell you something really funny that I do. Christopher hates it. My battery's about to die. Of course, there's always something interfering. Look. Oh, I can charge it. Where's the charger? Oh my God, everything's so far. Never mind. So Christopher hates when I do this. So what I do is, I grab his hand and I shake. And I go, I shake. And I go and I grab his hand and I go, you can't see it, but I vibrate. I'm like, he's like, what you do is love. It's so funny. I don't do it often, but I do it a lot of time when we're sleeping because he can't escape me. So when we're in bed, I'm like, it's so great. It's such a great laughter. He's like, Alistair. It's like, Alistair, Alistair. But one person loves it, and that's Olympia. Oh my God, when I hold in my arm and I gyrate, she's like, it's so great. I'm like, finally, someone who appreciates my gyration. Finally, someone who appreciates my tremors. Oh, it's so funny. So funny. So I do that to her a lot. And she's like, she's cackles. You know I have a happy baby, minus all the coughing and the sickness. Olympia laughs all the time. We are a laughing household. She's always laughing, and she is very vocal. Oh my God, I cannot wait to have coffee time with her when she's an early teenager. Coffee time, and you know what we do? I have to go. It's going to be 5% soon, and I need this phone battery because I'm transferring the data. So, you know what we do as a family? Well, pre-baby. We would do coffee and cheese. Did I tell you this story? I don't remember. So the way we eat cheese like this. Like, we don't eat like Americans where they do like one slice. What is that? No. Where I'm from, this is how we eat cheese. You get a whole lump. You get a lump. You get a lump. And here's some coffee. That's how we eat cheese. A slice. Give me, cut it. We cut a big piece. Cheese is like a pie piece. And when you eat coffee and cheese, try it. It's delicious. Black coffee, no milk. Black coffee and cheese, because cheese has a salty taste to it. You have the bitterness of the coffee, and you do a piece of cheese and conversation. You know, I love to converse. Pre-baby, we used to do that a lot. Because, you know, we have family meetings, and our family meetings are done during the summer outside. Coffee and cheese. So I cannot wait to have that with my Olympia. Coffee and cheese. She tell me all the stories about the boys she liked, about the boys who were bothering her. All the girls. You know, tell me about school, what she learned, how do you solve world hunger, get into her mind. You know, that's the joy I really look forward to, is to getting to know her. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to have so much fun with my kid. Can't wait. I can't wait. Just grow up faster. I don't enjoy the baby phase that much. I'm sorry. I know some people do. I don't. All that pooping and puking and sickness. I'm exhausted. No. I can skip that. I'll be honest. I don't enjoy it. And I didn't enjoy it at all. I don't know and the lack of sleep, I'm sorry. No. Some people really love it. I guess not me. But I really look forward when she's like, good morning. Hello, good morning. What are we doing today? Today we are going to do this. Oh, great. Like conversation, little human. But we have to train her to get there. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a fast forward. Anyway, I love you for watching. You are the best thing. Well, you're one of the best things that ever happened to me. Thank you so much. You know what? Like and subscribe if you haven't done so. But if you probably did it already. And you're the best thing ever. You are amazing. Okay, gotta go. Oh my God. Something else came up. Oh, I gotta do this now. I have a surprise for you. Bye.